Okay, welcome to the podcast that I created for business entrepreneurs and business owners. Today's guest is very important for me because 他是一个重量级人物. A lot of you might seen it before or probably would have seen him because you can see it on most television shows, hosting, and even some media channels that he's actually hosting as an ex-radio DJ, host, trainer, and an entrepreneur. It is my great pleasure that I can actually invite this guest to actually share his entrepreneurship experience. Before I show you his face, I must also share that he's actually the anchor host for Outcast, which is the number one growing channel that I can see in the Chinese niche industry. So without further ado, I'm going to give you the famous and dashing host and of course ex-radio DJ, Yan Wei.
Hi,
Hi, Wei.
hello. Wow, when you say 重量级, I got a little bit of offended just now because I was like, just now I weigh my weight and I got a few more kgs on already. So when you say 重量级, 有点刺耳这样。
不是那个重量, yeah. But hey, thank you for taking your time because I know that you're always busy during your weekends, and for you to be able to take out 1 to 2 hours for me, I'm really very honored to actually have you. Before this, I believe you are also hosting recently for the Campus Point, is it?
Campus One.
Campus One.
Yeah, so it's a baby crawling contest. Yeah. So I just ended the hosting and I came over and I'm happy to be on the podcast because I always love chatting with you and I think that you are someone with a lot of knowledge and wisdom as well. So I think this will be a very interesting podcast.
谢谢. Okay, so before we go into the standard scripted questions, I'm going to ask you some personal questions. So, I mean, you could choose to share, you can choose not to share. Okay, we all know that you actually furthered your studies in Taiwan. So, can you share a little bit of your education journey? What made you decide to go Taiwan of all places?
Oh, this is a little bit awkward because I think this. Okay, so I actually studied in Maris Stella and then after that Victoria Junior College right before I go to university.
Right.
So back then, when I was choosing my university, I actually applied everywhere. You name it, I applied it. Singapore, NTU, I got into the mass con, I got a place over there. I applied for Taiwan University, of course. At the same time, I applied for the UK college, UCL, University College London. And I got a place over there as well. And I applied for a number of US universities as well. And I think this one is Ivy League university, one of the Ivy League universities like Emory Court University. So I got a place over there as well. But back then I was really thinking like, where should I go? Like, what should I do? So I thought, back then I was doing this internship at a radio station. So one of the mentors over there, Huang Wenhong, yeah, he's my mentor, and then he actually advised me and said, "Hey, why you should go to Taiwan? Because he was from Taiwan, and then he felt that the education in Taiwan really changed him a lot as a person, where he managed to grow because." The environment over there is really much more creative. You're able to express yourself in many different ways, and even if it is something that's ridiculous, it is okay because everyone is very accepting of like differences.
Forgiving lah.
Yeah. So when he was talking to me about that, I was already half persuaded, but I wasn't like full on. I was still thinking what to do. So as a typical kiasu Singaporean, right, I still kept on to all my different spots in different universities and was like, okay, let me think about it. So 1, 2, 3 months after that, there was only one incident that that made me decide to go to Taiwan. So Georgia Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was like a very famous doctor.
You were inspired.
No, I wasn't inspired by her. It was very interesting. I invited her to be a guest on our radio show. So then after that, for some reason, like she invited me and not the other radio jocks, only me.
Now you all know why.
It was funny. I have not been in contact with her for quite some time, but it was quite interesting because I think it's just fate, I got invited to the party and the other radio jocks wasn't really invited, so they didn't go. So I went there alone and it was like a party where, all the like high class, all the
Socialite.
tai socialize, they walk around and they start chit chat and everything. And I was just like a 19-year-old kid, I don't know what's going on. So I was just walking around and I don't really know what to do. So at the party, there was like two interesting booths over there. It's not the typical popcorn booth. You go and take popcorn and candy floss. Actually, at the booth, it was like tarot card reading and fortune reading.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so there were people queuing in it for it. So I queued for it because, like I got no one to talk to, right? I don't know how to socialize. I don't know how to network. Back then, I was still a 19-year-old kid. So I just went over there and then I actually queued up.
For which one? Tarot card?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Both. So the tarot card reader first told me that I need to go overseas to study. Then the fortune teller basically tell me I need changes in my life. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, that's a hint. I'm going.
Only where?
Yeah. I think the tarot card reader told me Taiwan is a good choice. Yeah, so I decided to go Taiwan in the end.
Okay. So that was the decision-making event that made you go to Taiwan.
Yeah.
But out of all these choices, would you have regretted, instead, because there's UK, there's US, and also local?
I don't think I have regretted. Basically, I feel that if I had stayed in Singapore, I go UK or I go US, my path would be very, very different. Yeah. My Chinese wasn't that good. I mean, like, it was good, but it wasn't that good until I could be a radio DJ back then, I was still speaking in a bit of like Singlish and everything. So if you ask me to host a show purely in Chinese, it's going to be challenging for me.
Right.
But it was because I was able to go to Taiwan to study, I was able to improve on my Chinese. In that environment, it's totally different. That's why, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, when you're when you're in Singapore, it's very hard to learn Chinese. It is indeed true because it's the environment.
Correct.
When you don't have that environment where everyone is talking to you in Chinese, you cannot make it. You just cannot speak Chinese because you just everything just gets stuck in your brain. You don't know how to formulate sentences and everything. But the moment you get over there, right, everything becomes so easy. Everyone is talking to you in Chinese every single day, and those 4 years is the years that made the most impact on me as a development in terms of my education, because right after I came back, I was able to talk very fluently in Chinese. That was why I was able to join UFME 003after that. And I became a radio DJ, and yeah, everything became history.
I see. In case you all don't know, so Yan Wei is actually an ex-radio DJ with UFM 003, and there's another one, right?
Yes, Joseon San as well.
Yes, Joseon San also. I don't want to get it wrong, so I get him to answer. But anyway, being a radio DJ is going to be a lot of language expertise that you need to actually further into. What made you decide to leave SPH Radio after getting certain success?
Oh, wow.
八卦新闻, guys.
Okay, I actually stayed. Okay, to be fair, I stayed in there for a very, very long time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Was it fulfilling?
Yeah, it was. I mean, like, honestly, if I just want to find a job where I enjoy and I just want to stick to it and not do anything else, radio would be a good choice.
Correct.
Yeah, because the environment is different. I can tell you, if you go anywhere else, even TV, you cannot find this kind of environment, right? Because radio is an environment where you need to bring joy to your listeners,
Audience.
yeah, your audience every day, and you are stuck with that host for 4 hours every single day. So you have to make the environment happy, So this is something that we are all well trained in. So you go to all the Chinese shows, right? I mean, English, sometimes they are maybe the culture is a little bit different, but for the Chinese one, it's all the same. Like all the different channels you go into, right? They generally are very polite and very nice and very friendly to each other one. So this is the kind of environment that you really cannot find elsewhere. And generally, you keep a very happy when you talk on the show and you're happy, right? And off the show, naturally the feel good feeling will carry on, right? So for that 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 6 minutes, 10 minutes, when you're going into the music and the commercials, you're still like happy, and then after that you go back. So this whole environment is a very happy environment. Yeah. So after you go off the show, still happy, because everyone is so used to it already. So we try to be very polite and friendly towards each other. So if I were to find a job that I just want to do that forever and not do anything else, that would be the job, because yeah, it's really very comfortable. But the reason why I wanted to leave was because I needed to do a lot more things. Like I am not someone who can stick to something and just do that forever. You know, I need to try and do many different things. So basically, the first time I left UFF 103, the main reason was because I wanted to do something else. I wanted to do more things other than just radio. So then I had opportunities to host some to be guest host and also to host some TV shows lah. So after that I just left SPH, UFM 103, and I decided to go to MediaCorp so that I can do a little bit of both at the same time. Yeah. And then after that, I left Joseon San basically because I also want to carry on furthering my hosting, you know. So I went out and then I was freelance for a few years, and then after that I went back to UFM San. And then it's the same old story, you know, back when you are a full timer, I think generally there are some restrictions and there are some expectations of you that you need to put more focus on the job itself. And I'm really very grateful and happy that my ex bosses, a lot of them were very they were very accommodating lah. They know that I want to do many different things. So when I was a radio DJ, I was already doing like social media stuff, like on the radio station, planning, producing, editing videos for the radio station. While at the same time, I was still doing things outside. Yeah. But then came a point where like there's always a constant struggle lor, that whether you're putting enough effort into your full-time job or like are you doing more things outside, you know. So slowly it became a point where I just realized that I have to leave this industry in order to be able to learn more things lah. And I'm glad I did because after that I think my journey was very extraordinary. I've never expected my journey to be like that back then when I was a radio DJ.
Right. So the experience that you have, after radio, leaving SPH, you actually had a lot of opportunities to become a content creator, and I believe you have a short stint with NOC also. How was the experience? Was it good?
Oh, it wasn't a short stint. It was like I think we were doing that for like almost I think 2 years. About 2 years. Yeah. How was the experience with NOC? Yeah, it was nice to be honest. Whatever you heard or hear or anything about NOC, I have never experienced it personally.
Because you're not there already, lah.
No, it is because back when I started doing some shows with NOC, I was still a full-time radio DJ, so I did not sign any contract with with NOC. So there was some disputes about contracts, or like there were disputes about like say the treatment and everything. Okay, I have to be fair. No one ever treated me unfairly or badly at.
Is it because you're famous already?
No. There were a lot more people who are famous lah. They are very famous people over there. But basically, because I think I was just very lucky, I was brought into the Sugar Melon team. So the Sugar Melon team generally is headed by Virus.
Correct.
So basically, the Virus is always taking care to make sure everyone's happy and everyone's very satisfied. So the environment that we are in is also very happy generally. So whatever you hear about NOC because of Saga, no, I mean like I have no personal experiences that it affected me in any way. I can only say my whole journey in NOC was actually very happy, and yeah, if Sugar Melon were to carry on creating content, I would still be happy to create content. But unfortunately, because of circumstances, they stopped producing videos lah. So yeah, that's how it went.
So when Sugar Melon stopped, right? Because of the whole saga, do you think Virus was affected?
Yeah, I mean like because he was
closely working with them, right?
No, he was the head of Sugar Melon lah. So definitely when no, actually it was the other way, like more like Sugar Melon was operating and then Virus was inside, right? So then a point when Virus decided he needs to leave to better his personal development, he wanted to just get more experiences outside and do different things. So he decided to quit, and that's when Sugar Melon stopped producing consistent content. Yeah. But I was still working with Sugar Melon because there were people who came on to take on different projects with Sugar Melon. But it didn't last long lah. So basically we did a few more projects over there, and then after that, that's when basically Sugar Melon stopped producing content.
I see. So, whose side are you on?
No, I didn't. I wasn't on anyone's side.
Team Sylvia or Team Ryan?
No. I mean, to be very honest, because I'm I don't even work with them very regularly back
But
then.
you're friends with them lah, on a personal level.
I mean, yeah lah. I mean, in a way, but
After hearing both sides lah, which side are you more, geared towards that? Okay, this is more truthful. That I would choose to believe this, even though I'm still neutral.
okay. To be honest, because
PR question.
no, I'm not trying to give you a PR question, but it's just that it's just not in my place to answer. Basically, because I have like both sides are very nice to me.
Yes.
Like honestly, it's not because I want to be nice, It's just that I feel like I'm just very fortunate that everyone was very nice to me. Basically because Ryan wasn't like totally involved in the Sugar Melon team. So whenever I see him, he's a talent on the show and he's happy with me, And when I see Sylvia, she's either a talent on the show or like she is like just talking about very broad concepts with me. I remember like when Sugar Melon was first starting, I was invited to their house and then they told me that they wanted me to be one of their regular hosts, anchor hosts, right? So yeah, everyone was very nice to me. The moment I went in there, Sylvia was asking me like, "Hey, you want to eat dinner? 吃了没有？还没有吃啊？ Okay, okay." Then they were talking to their helper and they said, "Hey, prepare the dinner for him." So I started off just eating over there until I 吃饱 already. Then they're like, "Okay, let's have a meeting."
Okay.
Yeah. So my whole journey over there has been like, I mean, personally, no one was even bad to me in any single way, Yeah, and the last time I was with Sylvia, I think we even went for like some BBQ. Yeah, so no one was bad towards me in any way, and I'm not super close to anyone in the first place to even be affected in any way, So yeah, like I'm not on anyone's team to be very honest.
So you are one of the lucky ones lah, because there are a few that is really seriously affected. I mean, coming up from NOC, we have heard a couple of talents that got really affected during the whole saga that they took some time to recover before they got back to the content creation scene or even the media industry as per se. So you are one of the lucky ones.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was very, very lucky. I mean, yeah, like, it really, I mean, if it affected me, I would be like the first one to be crying over here, like, oh my god. But it didn't affect me, I got nothing to make noise about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for the rest that you are suay one, too bad lah. He's the lucky one. Okay, so as a content creator, what are some of your pet peeves? Like what are some things that you see already you just cannot stand on? Maybe 你的毛会站 or that kind of pet peeves that you have.
Okay, I mean, there are different aspects to this, right? First of all is your own content, and then second of all is looking at other people's content, right? I mean, I can talk about, maybe first I talk about other people's content first lah. I mean, because I myself am a social media coach, so I pay a lot of attention to what people are putting out there, and especially like creators who decided to go with me to ask me, hey, can you be my social media coach? I scrutinize every single thing. Like yourself, like you were under me back then, right? So I really scrutinize every single word that's being used.
真的哇，他 very meticulous. That's something I must say.
Yeah, so I scrutinize every single thing that is said, So when it comes to watching other people's content, I think the number one thing that I always look at is in terms of like the content and the words that are being used. Because I think generally when it comes to the filming, the production quality and everything, people are more and more open to like, hey, very casual form of filming, So people are not so like, I must have like the top notch quality, right? But when it comes to the content and the scripting, right, I cannot stand it when people don't know what they're trying to do. Like, yeah, they just felt like whatever they want to say, people will naturally listen to it, right? So they're like, oh, okay, today I want to like tell you about my thing, and your thing is just boring, you know. But I want to tell you about my thing. I don't know whether you like it lah, but I like it lor, so I talk lor.
Forced consumption.
Yeah, it's just my platform lah. I want to say whatever I want to say lor. Then they go on like grandmother story, you know, like just nag and go on and on and on and on. But this just not how content creation is.
No
Don't waste,
substance.
yeah, don't waste your viewers' time. Tell them something why they should be of value, you know. Then that's why I started my secret hacks also, because like I was a social media coach, right? And I wanted to try and say, okay, can I grow a platform that is not because of who I am as a host on media platforms, right? I want to grow a platform where it is completely not because I am
Organically grown, basically.
yes, organically grow. Yeah, and I'm happy to be able to do that. You know, like my secret hacks, we managed to get 100K of followers within 6 months, and right now we are at about 140K already. So yeah, the journey has been incredible, and we you know, like contrary to what you might think, right? A lot of our audience is not from Singapore. A lot of them are say from United States, Philippines, Malaysia, all these places where they have never seen my shows before, but basically they follow me because
The value that you brought.
yeah, correct. So that is the number one thing, you know. So through this journey I can tell everyone that I'm working with and say, hey, you know, like scripting is very important. This is what I did, and this is how you can achieve this same results as well. Yeah. So that's the pet peeve for when I look at other people's content. When I look at my own content, my own pet peeve is I want to improve it until like I cannot improve it. Like, and this is like a perfectionist level already. Like maybe people when they look at my secret hacks, they don't know that there's so much that's going on behind the video, you know. Yeah, but every single video that I put out, I spend hours and hours on just crafting it right to make sure it is right, you know. So let me just raise an example, right? Like of there was one time when I was doing this video where I was talking about like clearing your app, the cache inside your app.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So I created that video, right? And back when I was creating my video, I actually got my staff to help me to craft out the script. And then what do you think a normal way to craft out that script would be like to talk about like app cache?
Of course, the storytelling needs to flow. So you need to understand why would you need to clear the cache.
Okay.
So the problem is there, then you provide a solution, right? So that will be my scripting style.
Okay.
But of course, the hook is important. So I'm not sure what kind of hook would people do, but of course, I've saw your video before. What is important for me would be what are the steps that I could take to carry out this action. So the actionable item is important in this kind of educational value content.
Yeah, I think you very well trained, huh? I wonder who's your coach. So well trained, very good. No, I mean like this is the classic example. When I show to a lot of people who are not in the content creation scene, they don't understand, or like they don't get it. Like you have to emphasize on the problem, right? So a lot of people, when I give them, I not just give it to my staff, I gave it to a few more people just to test out and see how they will actually react. So the natural way where they do this video is they start off with like, hey, yeah, you know, like clearing app cache is very important. Because like your phone will be very full lor without clearing your app cache. So you need to clear your app cache lah. And then yeah, so you won't be too full, and then your you know, they just carry on talking about this, and yes, they want to talk about the problem, but they just do it in this way, right? Before they talk about solution. But let me test you right now as a student.
Yes.
If you want to show the problem of app cache, how would you do it?
I would show a mobile app that's actually crashing.
Okay.
Like let's say I'm serving my browser and then it can't load or Safari page is not loading whatsoever because your internet memory cache is full. So that is why you need to clear the cache. So
Okay.
I'll probably screen record my phone crashing because I didn't clear up my space.
Okay.
So if you are facing such a problem, take a look. This is how you clear your cache. Then I'll go to the solution.
Okay, very good. What else? What else do you need to do? I think there is something that is also missing.
Something that's missing.
You never expected that your podcast will be tested in this
Yeah,
way.
哇，变成他现在在 interview 我 but I like it. What would I feel that's missing? I think graphics lah. I think graphics is important for me. And what else is important? Okay, to me, I think the hook is important.
Okay.
Because if the hook doesn't hook me into wanting to watch the video, then because as per what you have said, the examples that people have, I'll try to feed you the solution that you need to clear your cache and all. So the hook will be interesting for me is you want to prevent burning your pocket by buying a new phone. Maybe it's time to clear your cache. You know, that kind of hook that would be actually useful to me because people that want to upgrade phones because they always have a crash in their mobile app. Then they'll realize that, 其实我不用换电话. Actually, it's just internet cache. So that is the hook that I work on. But maybe I'm still missing something.
Yeah.
So hook and the problem with animation and all to me is important. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I think what you mentioned are actually pretty good points. But one thing to
Means it's not good because you continue to add. Perfectionist.
it's very good already as compared to some of the things that we have seen or like I have asked around with people who are not so experienced. But the number one thing that I want to ask you is that you as a viewer, do you understand the impact of app cache? What is the impact? To us, right? Like if I don't clear lah. Like because the phone will take care of us, what?
Yeah.
Right? The phone is supposed to be smart enough to take care of all these things, what? So why should I bother? Like, don't bluff lah. This one confirm those creator try to scare us one, right? So what I did was I showed them a screenshot of my phone. And I opened up and I say I cleared 30 gigabytes of app cache.
Okay.
And I showed them, look at this app, Instagram. 3.82 gigabytes of app cache, right? So when you see stats like this, when you say, hey, I cleared 30 gigabytes, I cleared this Instagram app cache 3.82, it becomes something that they can understand and say, hey, it's really a lot, 30 gigabytes there. How many gigabytes do you have on your phone? Usually like maybe 100,
Yes.
200, right? So when you tell them something that is like tangible, they understand, right? If not, they don't feel like they are impacted and they feel like you are just trying to, you know, 有点说好像讲得很夸张 but actually it's not that big of a problem.
Correct.
Yeah, so
they can't connect the dots lah. Basically, you need to treat them as though they are like primary school kids. That it's as easy, simplified for them.
Yeah.
But because it's easily tangible based on what you've shared, I think a lot of creators don't understand that. If you can't relate your topic to something that they can easily understand, then they don't see a reason to do it.
Yeah, correct. So for myself, like my pet peeve is that for all the scripts that I do, I need to go down to the very, very detailed level, which
真的很 detailed. Wow.
so I think that's why it's very hard for me to also find suitable script writers and content creators. But if you would like to challenge yourself, please DM me and then like we can do it. I mean like I'm constantly looking out for people who are able to do good content creation and to work with, as a full-time or part-time, simply because I have very high expectation about what I want to do, and everything I want to do, I want to make sure that it's really done well lah. So I find I take a long time and it's not easy for me to find the right talent.
Correct.
So it's a constant struggle for me. Yeah, but this is my pet peeve, to really like nail down and make sure it is done to the best.
So since we're on the topic of your business, anyway, for people that don't know, Ian Wei is actually a business owner of My Secret Hacks. Okay, as you have heard from him personally, for the past, I won't say the past 6 months, but within 6 months, he actually built his own social media platform channel to more than 100,000 followers. I mean, it's not easy. A lot of people feel that, it's actually easy to grow on, all these platforms. platforms. You got to understand the consistency that you're going to put yourself out there.
Yeah. By
So,
the way, just a correction.
Yeah.
Within 6 months, 100K on TikTok, 30K on Facebook lah. Yeah, then we have another few K on Instagram and YouTube lah. So it's not just 100K, by the way.
sorry, flex 错了, flex 错了.
Just kidding.
But with the results that he have grown, it's a testament. All right, you don't need to be a public figure because he didn't use his public figure status to actually grow his business. To be honest, my secret hack is just a content creator showing up to actually provide hacks, secret hacks about phone tips, about IT tips, or etc. But if you really want to learn more, okay, this is actually what the business is about. So this part of the interview, I would like to go more detail into why did you enter this business? I mean, you could have done any other thing related to media. So why did you start a media agency like My Secret Hacks?
Okay, just to clarify also, so My Secret Hacks as a company, we do a lot more than just the platform. So the platform is just one of the services that we provide in terms of content creation, then we do brand deals and stuff like that. But we do a lot more than that.
Could you share a bit more, like what do you do? I mean, for your business structure itself, what kind of channels, what kind of revenue models that you actually have? Could you share with the audience?
Okay, so I like to see ourselves as a creative agency that gets results for you, like creative marketing agency that gets results lah. So yeah, like the way that we get results, we are not dependent on just one avenue. If we feel right for your instance something should work, then you should go along that direction. It's a little bit different from the traditional marketing agencies where like,
Right.
oh, I create website one. Oh, I do event, no, I do event. So you just find me for event lah. Oh, I do social media only. Oh, I do video production only. No, for us, like, because I feel that all these things are ideas and concepts, right? So for everything, for us to properly help our clients, companies, brands to be able to do well, right? We need to make sure that we are able to help them to grow in many different areas, right? So for example, like one of the companies and brands that we are working with right now is an aesthetic clinic. So they are actually one of the most credible one. That doctor is like the trainer for many different global brands lah. So he's one of the top aesthetic doctors in Singapore, you know, but they wanted to grow in terms of their digital space. So that is where I was helping them in terms of I don't restrict to just a specific platform. I work with them on their website, on their social media and stuff like that. And yeah, over the past few months, we actually got quite a few viral videos, some reaching like 100K, some was like 50K. And yesterday's video was, yeah, we just posted for less than 24 hours and we are already at 20K for a brand like this is really not bad already. Yeah, so I mean there's still room to improve for sure. But all these are organic views and we want to make sure we get real results for our clients, you know, not just like, oh, I just go and boost it and inflate it, then looks good, the number looks good, then okay lah. We don't do that. We want to make sure that the results that we're delivering is really good results for the clients. Yeah. So in terms of what we do, that's why we do a lot of different things. In terms of market, like production, I talk about productions first. Productions, like in terms of productions, we do a lot of different types of productions as well. Like for example, we do some variety show that we are currently doing for MediaCorp right now for their YouTube channel. We also do like productions, small scale productions for social media, right? We also do like productions, like for example, review videos and stuff like that, or content creation on Outcast, on My Secret Hacks, or like on my own Yan Wei Xiao channels, you know. So there is a wide range of things that we do as a production. Then in terms of marketing, we also do like say for example PR marketing, influencer marketing, website, graphic designs and stuff like that. Yeah, so basically we're not restricted to a specific thing. We have resources and we have the ability we have the talents to do many different things in the company lah. So I'm glad that we are in a fortunate position and we are able to position ourselves as someone that is different from the market.
Okay, I mean, there's a lot to digest for all the viewers for sure. Because we all know that My Secret Hacks is like a creative agency, as you said. But also as a content creator yourself, personally, you know that content creators need to have their niche. So what do you think is your business niche as compared to the other media agencies out there?
Okay, my niche is just creative marketing. Yeah, my belief is that marketing shouldn't be restricted to a media platform, shouldn't be restricted to a specific format. I want to provide a 360 creative marketing solution to my clients, you know. So yeah, like for me, my niche is in creative marketing. It's not restricted to a specific platform. But if you're talking about the strengths, then definitely in terms of like social media space, that is where we have achieved a lot of different results, especially with some of the clients and creators that we're working with. Some of them are like, for example, Netherlands DJ. They were able to grow their account from say 2K to 400K, and
Oh,
that's
that's a lot.
yeah, that's within like 6 months.
Wow, okay, 6 months.
Yeah, and we've got Spanish videographers as well. Within 2 months, he was already 100K, from 4K to 100K. Yeah, and then we've been working with many different creators, achieving different viral results lah. So if you're talking about strengths, definitely in terms of social media space, that's where you see us shining the brightest lah. But we're not restricted and limited to that for sure.
Okay, so do you have any media agencies that you see today, or even talent agencies that you think that they are actually on the right path on the content creation scene in the respective era today?
I think a lot of content creators are very well on the right path, for sure. Like, yeah, like I mean, it's not. I mean, I'm nobody to go and like say whether they are on the right path or not on the right path. But when it comes to like big companies like SCAG, Banana, like or for example like
How about Titan? From Jianhao.
yeah, definitely. You know, like they have found their niche, they know what
Correct.
they're doing, they're very smart in achieving their results, you know. So yeah, I regularly look at their content and try to see like why are they making such decisions and stuff like that, you know. Some I agree, some I don't agree for sure, but they definitely have a strategy, and that's what got them to wherever they are today.
Okay, that's nice to know. Okay, so throughout your inception from day one of My Secret Hacks till today, what was your toughest period? I mean, because recently, actually, we do know that you actually posted on your story talking about how tough it is hiring, how tough it is being a business entrepreneur. But that's just one side of the story as a business entrepreneur, right? As a business owner. But what was your toughest period, since inception till today?
My toughest period every period is tough.
PR answer.
No, it's not because of PR answer. It's just, oh, it's just draining.
Because as business owners, we all have our instances when it comes to crunch time. It's not about OTing or getting your team to actually stay back to work that overtime, but there is definitely this dark period that you almost want to give up. So I'm not sure whether you had that, but over the years that you have actually built this agency and all, have you faced such situations?
Again, to be honest, I'm very lucky lah. I'm very lucky.
Everything also lucky one.
No, because I believe maybe because of me being willing to work hard and everything and trying to do the best, and I think clients are able to appreciate that effort, you know. So I feel that I'm lucky in the sense that I don't really feel right now we have a very dark period where, you know, financially we are so strapped that we are not able to sustain, you know. We have been growing very sustainably from just like me only to one staff, two staff, three staff. We're able to slowly grow from there. So yeah, there was a really very dark period, but it's just the whole period is very tiring. It's just very, like if you were to talk about a difficult period, the whole period is very tiring because basically like we want to do the best for our clients, but basically we're not a super big agency where we can say, hey, I have just one person to do one role, you know, and that person will be the best at that role, you know, and then you can have a lot of these people, you can provide the best results for your clients, but basically that comes with a super high cost, right? So we have to start training our staff to be all-rounders who are able to manage and create in many different directions, and that's what we're trying to do. And it's not easy lah. The whole period is very tiring because it's just not easy finding such a person. There's no, like, honestly, I've interviewed so many people and I've got so many people in, and some left, some are still here. No one is able to grasp every single thing so far, and because the space is just so big, so big, but it's just yeah, I mean, I'm still happy lah. Like clients are still feeling like we got the results for them and they're willing to work with us on even more projects.
So you're still consistently hiring right now.
Yeah. My hiring never ever stopped. Never ever
Looking for a job? Okay, looking for a job, please go to My Secret Hacks, look for Yan Wei.
Yeah, like really, like if you have good marketing ideas and you feel like you want to be a strong player, you want to develop strongly, it's not about where you came from. I don't like when I hire people, right? I don't care where you studied. I don't really care which agency you go to in the past, because I've seen very terrible works even from the big agencies, like as a creator, we work with many different marketing agencies, and some of them, like the ideas that they put out are just
Rubbish.
Nah, I mean, like, not to say it's rubbish lah, but it just doesn't work, it just doesn't work. And for clients also, like people who are at the client side as marketing, some of them really don't know what to do as well. They come up with very silly ideas, but the ideas are generally more like driven by what the company wants to push rather than what the viewers want to see. And that is the generic problem, and they don't see it. They can't see it. They can't jump past this thing to try to get results in a positive way, so it's very tiring to hire people. So I mean, like, if let's say you want to challenge yourself and grow, develop yourself, right, to really learn how to properly do marketing to service your clients, my door is always open. As long as it's the right person, I'm willing to hire all the time.
So if you're looking for a job and you want to challenge yourself, please contact Yan Wei at My Secret Hacks. Okay, one final question before I wrap it up. As an entrepreneur, you could have actually easily led your life, going back to SPH, being a radio DJ, or even just, being a content creator. So what would you like to share or give one piece of advice for aspiring entrepreneurs that want to start their business or they have already started? What is one piece of advice that you will share with this community of people?
If they want to start their business, I think I only have one word for them: don't. It's very tiring. It's very, very tiring. No, okay. But better advice is, before you start, think about what do you actually want to do, and it will be easier if you start something very small and something very streamlined, right? Let's say, for example, a burger joint. In terms of like getting things started and going, it is not that difficult, because basically the direction is very clear. You're selling burgers, so you just need to get people in the kitchen staff who is very good at creating 1 burger, 2 burger, 3 burger, right? But when you create a burger joint, like a restaurant where you're going to, like, MOF, the restaurant, yeah. They sell Western, they sell Japanese.
The menu is very wide.
Yes, very good for customers, very good for like clients, but
your team will die.
Yeah, it's very tiring as a person lah. So I think for my agency, there's also an issue lah. But in terms of marketing, that's the belief that we have lah, because we don't believe that if you do one thing for the client, you can properly satisfy the client, So we do ad buys, we do media buys, we do different things, we do SEO, we do SEM, we do everything, right? Because basically we just want to make sure we get the results for the clients, and that's what I believe in marketing lah. But basically for, like, it depends on what kind of business you want to go into. But my number one advice is that if you want to go into a business, think about it and see whether you can streamline your business in a way that is easy for you to manage, right? Then slowly you expand from one thing to two things to three things to five things. Yeah, for me, I'm very ambitious, so I want to do those five things right from the start, and that is why it is tiring for me, for my team, but it's also enriching lah. So it depends on what you want, but
自找的，自找的。
find do something that is easier for you, unless you really want to challenge yourself.
So it's a two-step advice. Number one, don't. But if you really want to, okay, then you got to streamline down and actually think what can you really provide that value to the business idea that you really want to expand. So I hope you guys have enjoyed, the whole podcast session and actually get some insights of what Yanwei is actually doing. Of course, I didn't touch too much about Outcast because it speaks for itself. It's really a very successful channel. If you don't know, that means you're not trendy. Outcast is one of the top trending YouTube channels, and I would say Chinese variety show channel that everybody's watching. Go to their Telegram, go to their YouTube, and all the social media handles are all down here below in the link. And if you'd like to actually connect with Yanwei, his IG handle will be at Yanwei Xiao and it will be across all platforms: TikTok, IG, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Anything else that you'd like to share to the audience, Yanwei?
I think I mean, when talking to, I think most people who are listening to this broadcast, they are really like trying to start up their business, or they are already doing their own business and stuff like that. So I feel like one thing that I want to maybe tell them also is that persevere, because a lot of businesses, I think I saw some stats before, 20-30% of the businesses survive and the rest all fail.
Actually, more than that.
What's the stats?
So last year, based on 2022, there were 60,000 plus companies that set up, 50,000 plus closed down.
Yeah.
So only 10% survive. And out of the 10%, right, maybe 1% in each industry. So before you want to start, as per what Yanwei said, it's very true. Don't. 不要自找麻烦. But if you really aspire to start, then follow these streamlined methods or frameworks that we have shared in the previous guests and of course the future interviews that you can see. Because for us as business owners and entrepreneurs, we took a lot of effort to actually build up what we have today. We are not measuring in terms of financials. We look at when we started and how we have grown. So it's not how much money you have in your bank. It's from where you started to where you have reached today. That's the success that all entrepreneurs and self-made would actually measure the success. It's not because I have a bigger bank account or you have a bigger bank account we are called successful. No, that's not how success is seen. So I hope that you guys can actually have some takeaway for that.
Yeah, so I mean, when you talk about last words, my real thoughts that goes to them is that just 加油 lor. It's a tough journey lah. It's really a tough journey, but it's also a rewarding and enriching one lah. Yeah, so just try to persevere and do it.
你够犯贱，你就可以 try.
Yeah.
But thanks a lot, Yanwei. Thanks for taking your time, and I hope you also enjoy your time today. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you.